and welcome to the latest edition of Wrench Ride and Repeat. I'd like to thank the people that have been following my channel, and hopefully we get to grow a little bit bigger here soon. Today we're going to finally put the gear case together on my wife's 96 Low Rider. I got all the parts and now I'm ready to get it assembled and get her going here. The sooner I get her bike done, the sooner I can move my basement shop to my new garage, which is really what I want to get done here. So let's go see what this bike's about. And I've done this before, but might be a little rusty here and there. So we'll see how it goes. So here we are at the gear case, sorry. And I've done some preliminary setups. And I just want to show you here that we did we're going to do the breather gear here. So here's your breather gear spacer. That goes right on the end. And the manual says 1/1000ths to 11/1000ths, but you have to account for 6/1000ths of gasket crush. All right. So what they want you to do, what the manual says, is you take your take a flat edge, right? Little ruler here, little steel ruler, and I got 3 measurements out. I got a 13, a 12, and 11. All right. So, oops, sorry, bumped the camera there. So you lay your flat edge across both sides of the gasket and on your spacer. Okay, so we're going to start with 12/1000ths and push in on that pretty tight, right? That's going to crush that gasket anyway. And there is a very little go. If you really squeeze it in there, that 12 does not want to go very easily, and 13 doesn't go at all. All right, so we're going to come down here to 11, and 11 fits in there just nicely, just what. So if you're going between 1/1000ths and 11/1000ths, that's 10/1000ths. And you're going at 11 minus 6. So there's 5/1000ths, right? And that's just about in the middle. So here we go, 11, between 11 and 1. And we got 11 right there. Minus 6 is 5. So we got 5/1000ths. That's mid-range tolerance between 1 and 11. So I think we're going to go with that. We're going to roll with that. So let me roll my sleeves up here because we're going to get some assembly lube going, and I don't want to get it all over me. So give me just a second here. This is an S&S breather gear, and it came with spacers for that gear. So I want to take that out, set that aside. I want to pull my breather out. You can take the gasket off for now. All right, because we're not going to need that for a few minutes yet. And there's the breather gear, nice metal one. Some people scream about metal ones. Some people swear by them. This is hopefully the final time I'll ever have to build this engine. So I think we're going to put it together with that and see how it goes. So get some lube in there. All right, all over. I want it to slide real nice and tight in there. And before I put this back in there, all right, yep, okay. Okay, I want to put some on the gears here. Just a little dab will do you, right? All right, and that'll all mesh in there when we put the cover in there. So I'm going to set that on the rag for a moment. Man, that stuff is goopy. It's like spider web. Holy cow. All right, wipe my hands off. And just for a little cleanup here, I want to get a piece of Brillo pad or Scotch-Brite pad. Get in here. All right. Just clean that face up a little bit. You don't want anything marring that metal gear. All right. All right. Let me get a clean surface here so I can see what the heck I'm doing. This might take off any little burrs. Yeah, that's pretty good in there. That's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Let me get in here and wipe her all out real good. This is actually not a hard job. It's just kind of a precise job. So now that we have that done, I'm going to put just a little film of lube in there. All right. Just to help everybody get going nice and smooth. All right. up in there. Make sure there's no burrs or you know, deep gouges or anything that's gonna rub on that cam. All right. So put the cam gear in. We're not gonna worry about timing yet because we gotta put the breather gear in. And we're not gonna worry about timing just yet till we get the cam in there. All right, so let me get this right here. Here's the spacer we pre-measured. All right, we're gonna put a little dab on him too, you know. Stuff's cheap, and it'll save your engine on start. So get that guy lubed up a little bit on both sides. Okay, there he is. And your breather gear's set. Now, if we really wanted to, we can find that timing mark on that gear, and it is right there. All right. So if we set that there, that's about where the cam's going to sit. And so we're good there. And we can move on to this Andrews cam, this EV27. I love these cams in these bikes. Put one in all my Evos, except for the police bike. I think it has a EV46 in it. So with the cam, all right, now we get a little more interesting. So we're going to lube him up, cam bearing side, or I'm sorry, bushing side. Get him going there real good. Get all your lobes, all right. Little drop there. Little drop there. Just put a drop across all of them. How's that? All right. Get your lobes all lubed up. All right. Get your cam bearing end lubed up. And just a drop of. All right. Well, that stuff's stringy. All right. Just make sure that's all good and lubey. And then we're going to do the gear itself. Just a little film, and then I wouldn't worry about jamming it into every gear. Just make sure you get enough on there. And then when you start meshing these gears with the lube on all the other gears, it'll do what you want it to do. So, okay. Kind of like that. We'll just rub that in real quick. All right, now, where is it? We're going to put this in without any spacer. So here's the thrust washer that was missing. All right, it goes right in there, or you can put it better out. You can put it right on there. Set the cam in. Now where's our timing mark on the cam? I missed that when I put it in there. Oh, there it is. Okay, it's a little dot. Look at it in the camera. Little dot right there on the gear, and that's going to match up there. And we got to find our pinion mark. And I'll be back in just a second. All right, we were offline there for just a minute. I had a hard time finding the mark on the pinion gear. And you come to find out it's not on the tooth, it's between two teeth. So once I found that in the manual, we got this all lined up. So we have one here, corresponding dot on the cam, corresponding mark on the breather in the cam, so we're all aligned. Okay, so it doesn't matter if it's top dead center or not. So we'll put our new gasket on. As long as the gears mesh and they're timed correctly, you're in good shape. So no coating on the gasket. Put the gasket on there. All right, and then we're gonna put some other stuff away and get it out of the way. And now we're going to check cam gear end play. All right. And just a second. Cam gear end play is 1/1000ths to 50/1000ths. Okay, so that's quite a bit of range there. So it says to put at least 3 screws in it, and so let's get the cover in place. And the fun part here is if it doesn't need a spacer because that Andrews cam fits in there, then we're in good shape. Get that timer out of the way so I can see. In you go. Get your lined up there. Okay. So what's the problem here? Oh, we just pulled our cam out. Great. All right, so now I got to reset that timing. And I lost my breather spacer. So I'll be back. Hi, and welcome to the finishing part of putting this cam in, this gear case. I had to stop because I needed shims. When I put the new cam in, it was way too tight, and I had to come down about 9 thousandths on a shim. So I went ahead and put the cam in. The breather's already set. I think I have video of that. So now I torqued the bolts down, and we stripped this one out. So word to the wise, caution here. These old engines have been taken apart and put together dozens of times probably over its years. So when they tell you to torque something down, and these bolts are only 7 to 10 foot-pounds, not very much, and this one's stripped out at 8 foot-pounds. So you got to watch these old bikes. Sometimes it's better just to, trust your gut and crank them down to, they're tight. They're not going to go anywhere. If you feel better, put some Loctite in them. Not a bad idea. All right, so we got the cam in, we got it shimmed correctly, and I'm going to show you where we're at here with these, and I'll take a picture of that. With the S&S EV27 cam, it says clearance end play on the cam is 10 to 15 thousandths. All right, so we're going to split that in the middle and do 13. All right, so let me get some light on here. Bob, you want to come on in here? Ooh. And I'll try to do it from this side so you can see on that side. So what you do here is you got your 13 thousandths, right? And you come in and you want to come between the cam and the shim, right? Or I'm sorry, yeah, the thrust washer and the shim. All right, and you get your feeler gauge down in there, and like I said, at 13, she fits right in there nice. You can feel it on the feeler gauge. There's no back and forth end play. And remember, before you do this, you put your cover on and you put at least 4 screws in it. That's what the manual says. And you put your 4 screws in, and that'll, that's enough to crush your gasket. And then remember to reach in there and pull your cam out, right? Because when you put it on with the case, it wants to push everything in. So pull your cam out from the inside, right? As far as it'll go, and then do your measurement. So I'm happy with that at 13 thousandths, and we're going to call that good. And I think other than fixing this hole here, I'll have to pull the cover back off to drill that out and put a time cert in it. We can go ahead and put some of this other stuff together here fairly quickly. All right, so all the little stuff. All right, so this is your timing. I call it a timing bell, and this is what tells your ignition module to send your spark to your spark plugs. Okay, so this is a little tricky because there's like zero room to work in this, but you can see there's a key here. See the key there? And then if you look in here, you can see the notch. All right, and this matches that notch so that when that spins, this spins with it. So we get this in here. Oh, yeah, first try. All right. So is it going to sit there for me for just a second and get some tools here. And I'm going to need an extension. Excuse me, Bob. There we go. Right on there. Snug as a bug. All right. So we'll put our screws in. And this is no, this is no mechanic secret. I did this with the primary because all the screws are different lengths. All right, just a little bit, and they all have to go in the right place. So I always like to just go ahead and put those on the paper. I'm going to go ahead and put some of these in. First time I saw that, I was like, oh wow, that's a great trick. Well, then if you read through the manual, it tells you to do just this. So I'm going to run these in a little bit. All right, get this screw in here. I needed to grab an extension. And sometimes it's better to start this screw and then find out where your notch is. I'm pretty certain that's right. And that torques down real nice in there. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. And another one, you know, I'm sure there's a torque spec for this. Don't grind it out. Now, I'm just showing you this for the sake of showing you this, because I'm going to have to tear this all out. I don't have to reshim the cam. That's done. The shim is the correct size. But I'll have to pull all this out to fix that thread. So that's really about it. When you put your timing module back in there, see the slot here on your timing module, and the gaps in the cup, right? And every time that comes around, that gives it a digital signal to, you know, do what it does. So we get this in here, right? Set him up, and that's about all there is to it. And then you put your covers on, and you're good. So let me get over here. All right, camera on me. So that wraps up this part of the video. We're going to move on here a little bit and go ahead and do lifters, and that'll be something separate. I'm not going to run this too long. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you maybe learned something, and we'll see you next time on Wrench, Ride, and Repeat.